This video is about our new product, the external bridge. The external bridge plugs into the main Precious Metal Verifier Pro. It plugs in to this little DB connector on the side, like this. And there are some screws here, and if you're going to do a permanent attachment, you can screw these in, but generally speaking, it'll be just fine just leaving it sit there. It operates as the other sensors do. When we calibrate it, we have a light showing that each sensor gets calibrated in turn, and it's ready to use. One detail about calibrating this is we want to have this device, which is what we call it the plunger, in the up position during calibration. So we're going to show how this works. This is for big silver bars and gold bars, 100 ounces, 5 kilogram, 10 kilogram bars. I have a 100-ounce Sunshine silver bar here. I hope it's silver. I'm going to put it on the sensor. The first thing that happens on this side is the dimension screen comes up. I'm going to push down the plunger so that it's nominally about the height of the bar. You don't have to smash it into it or anything. So the dimension screen comes up because you have to enter the width. One way you can measure the width is by using the scale on the instrument, and it is around 78 millimeters wide. So I'm going to enter 78 millimeters here. Now, of course, you could use a pair of calipers or whatever. So there's two reasons for measuring the width. One is that it compensates for the width in the measurement because the sensor is so high that the sides of the bar can have some influence on the reading. And the other reason is because we're going to measure the volume of the bar, so we need the width anyway. So we can see that the reading comes up, and the reading is saying that it looks like valid silver so far. And I've already entered the weight as 100 ounces. So if I go to the dimension screen, it'll give me max and minimum lengths that it should be if it's actually the correct density for silver. And it says it's between 116 and 137 millimeters. So once again, I can use the scale on the instrument, and it's about 130. So it is within the range of the correct density for silver. Now, if I want to continue with this bar and measure more parts of it, I can move the bar around, and the reading will continue to read through the bar. As I approach the edge, the lower reading will tend to walk up a little bit. You don't have to really get very close to the edge to read through the bar because no one's going to put some little thing in the corner. It's going to be only practical to fake it with fairly large parts of the bar being filled with something false. I'm going to show how to measure a bar that has beveled edges. A lot of poured bars have beveled edges. Where do you measure the width and the length? It's a little easier with a pair of calipers. You can do it by kind of estimating it on the screen, but it is also easy to just kind of take a pair of calipers, and we got 53 millimeters. So I'm going to get this and put this on there. And then I'm going to put in 53 millimeters as I put the numbers in before. Same deal, 53 millimeters. And we have a reading, and the reading looks pretty darn good for silver. So now we're going to move it around a little bit, and we can move it down the bar. There's not much point moving it sideways on a bar this narrow because you're already reading to the edge. And then we go for the dimensions. It says it's between 142 and 167 millimeters long. Probably the best way to do this is with the calipers. 162 millimeters. So it's within that range, so that it's the correct density for silver. Let's do an example where we pretend that a piece of copper is a piece of silver, as if this were plated and was trying to be passed as a piece of silver, and see what happens. I happen to know that this is 76 millimeters wide, so I'm just going to put that number in. Of course, copper and silver are fairly close in their resistivity readings, so it is within the range of okay silver. I need to put in the weight. This is not 100 ounces. This bar is 1.33 kilograms. I've already put that into the manual entry screen. So now we have a complete reading. It looks like it could be silver. Now let's take a look at the length. We push the dimension button. It says it's between 58 and 69 millimeters long, but it's actually 76 millimeters long, so it's too low density for silver, so it's not silver. When you're using the sensor, just like the other sensors, some bars have very deep imprinting on one side compared to the other. As a general matter, putting the less imprinted side down is a good idea. It will give you generally a better reading, especially on the surface measurement. This bar is 54 millimeters wide. I need to put in the weight. This is a kilogram bar, 1,000 grams. And we have a reading that's commensurate with silver, and we can get the dimensions. It says it's between 112 and 132 millimeters. And once again, this is slightly beveled edge. It's a poured bar, and it's 130 millimeters, so it's within the range for silver. So that's a valid silver bar. And that's the way the product is used.